Please help support the channel by visiting our Amazon store, affiliate link below.
And speaking of a situation that is going to be, I don't know. I don't know. I find this again to be kind of backtracking a little bit of that. Well, we have Venom coming out here next week. Yeah, I know. Venom is next week. The press screenings are going to start happening here very soon. The reviews are going to start coming out early next week. And people are going to be talking to Tom Hardy a lot. Press junkets, press tours, all of those things. And so they're going to be asking him lots of questions. And remember, I talked about this the other day where he is okay with Venom being PG-13. He's like, oh, no, it's good because it can fulcrum into other things. It can fulcrum into an R-rated movie. It can fulcrum into a movie for kids, which a lot of people were kind of like, okay, you're the lethal protector, not necessarily what I would call a kid's film. And the fact that they want to go that route shows you that Amy Pascal is really playing an interesting game here that has a possibility to get messed up. And so Tom Hardy, speaking of that, of the backtrack, did actually come out and say this, that he wants Venom 2 to be rated R. Thanks, Tom. Thanks. Now you want it to be rated R. If you get a sequel. But then again, the movie is looking to open anywhere between 55 million to 80 million. So it's looking for a pretty solid opening weekend. That's going to probably translate into a sequel being greenlit the Monday afterward. Now, it says here, despite previous reports claiming that Sony's Venom solo movie was going to have an R rating, many people were shocked to learn a couple weeks back that it had been confirmed as PG-13. However, according to the movie star Tom Hardy, it doesn't look like the franchise will be permanently set on staying in the PG-13 level, and believes that future installments with Venom, starting with Venom 2, are open to being R-rated. No, it's not. It's not. I see what Tom Hardy, I get what he's insinuating just based off of that. We're going to read the full quote. The quote that they use here is the same exact one I talked about. The thing could fulcrum into an R rating, right? This is, I don't know. He's trying to play it up. He's okay with it being PG-13, but it could become an R-rated thing. And I think what he's generally referring to there, and this is probably just a bit of a misinterpretation by MovieWeb, because sometimes these particular articles, they kind of like, pick apart a certain thing. I think what he's referring to essentially is not that the movie itself will be rated R, Venom 2 will be rated R, that it's going to have an unrated cut. I think that's what he means, that it can fulcrum into R-rated. It can fulcrum into for youth or children. So if it can fulcrum into an R rating, or if it can fulcrum into something that's for youth or for children, then you can kind of see it's walking that fine line, which means that this whole thing boils down to either way it fulcrums in the edit bay, right? It's just, that's where it's going to be at. It's where it fulcrums in the edit bay. And I think it's only going to be, I think it's only going to be R-rated there. If the movie opens up and earns, $80 million on the opening weekend, right? If it opens to $80 million and it ends up getting, a sequel, right? The sequel is not going to be magically rated R. Now that would only apply if the demographics for the film show that when people went to go see it, it was, parents took their kids to go see it. If children under the age of 18 or under the age of 17 went to go see the movie, and then how well that did in those numbers, because they poll all those people. They look at the demographics of who's attending in order to get an idea of who the core audience is. And if we know going into this is going to be a lot of, Marvel and Spider-Man fans, and they're going to want to see this out of pure curiosity. They're going to want to see this out of mostly, I would say, morbid curiosity. And then they're going to be able to compile the data from that to determine whether or not the movie is worthy of a sequel. And then, of course, you're looking at the situation where you've got the home video release. Now, the home video release is probably going to have an unrated cut. I would assume it's going to have an unrated cut. I would assume they shot it for rated R and they chopped it down to PG-13. This is This is Tom Rothman we're talking about here, who famously did that with Live Free or Die Hard in 2007. When Live Free or Die Hard, the fourth Die Hard movie, was PG-13, and then they released an unrated cut that was actually a lot better than the PG-13, minus some of the jokes didn't make it in. That makes no sense to me. It's again, Tom Rothman's not above this. So having one version in theaters and one version on home video. And honestly, people like Grace Randolph would, I think, entirely back that notion up. They'd be entirely okay with that because it leads to larger box office numbers. Whereas I don't want to call myself a purist, is in disagreement with that, where it's like, no, release the product as it is. We've learned that with like Deadpool and with It and with Kingsman and with Tarantino films and things like that, these types of properties, Logan, these types of properties have the ability. They have the ability to do well. You have to trust in the product, trust in what it is. And I think that's exactly what Tom Rothman doesn't do. I don't think he's going to do that at all. So my theory, based upon what he was saying, what Tom Hardy was saying here, was that essentially, well, it's not going to be R-rated. If the movie does well enough PG-13, they're not going to screw with success. They're not going to screw with a model that has proven to work. They're going to sit there and they're going to very much play with what they've got, and that's going to be it. So it's ridiculous nonsense in my opinion, but unfortunately, it's just kind of where things are at this moment. I really hope that we get an R-rated version of the film. I hope that it does better on home video and that tells them that this is where there can be some money, so we see it theatrically. But ultimately, if it does well home video wise with the unrated cut and theatrical cut, they're going to continue it. Why fix something that's not broken, right? And that's just the way Hollywood works, and it's dumb in my opinion, but that's just, again, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Hey, thanks for checking out this clip from $3 Theater. If you want to get the full audio version of the episode, you can find it anywhere podcasts are found. If you want to watch the video version of it, head on over to patreon.com/mundanemat and take a look at our $3 Theater perk, which gets you access to the full show that airs Monday through Friday. It's a video version of it. You get to look at this face, talk about movies and everything else on screen. It's great stuff. It helps out, and I really appreciate the support. Remember to please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.